And that, my friends, is called Bidenomics.
What is this? What is this? Where's all the money?
That's as good as money, sir. Those are IOUs. Go ahead and add it up. Every cent's accounted for. Look. See this? That's a car. 275,000. Might want to hang on to that one.
You do not have a deal. You do not have a deal. Because it's a raw deal for the American people. They voted for you to go away, not to stick around, right?
All right, can I borrow $20 million and I'll
not
pay you
gonna
credit.
happen.
Pay you
Never gonna
interest.
happen. Never gonna happen. We're not gonna do that. Because we don't make deals with stupid people, right? You have to be this tall and this smart to make a deal, and you're too short and too stupid, right? Way too short and way too stupid for that deal.
No, I can't argue that.
What is up, guys? TYSON DELACRUZ here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Did high-profile events cost Kamala Harris the U.S. election? Aside from not having policies, she actually ended up losing the campaign and being $20 million in debt. Shout out to everybody watching. Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. And then also let me know where you're watching this out of, because it's awesome to see where everybody's watching these videos out of. So this recent article says that Kamala Harris ended with over $20 million in debt, highlighting that she spent crazy money on random crap, whether that's, let me blow this up a little bit. Boom, here we go. She spent money on Diddy endorsements, featuring stars and concerts like Katy Perry, Lizzo, Eminem, Bruce Springsteen. You remember Bruce Springsteen, that guy. In order to attract young voters, she raised over $1 billion and still managed to be $20 million in debt after her campaign was over. Capiche? Gabanzo. Let me know what you guys think, what she's going to do in order to get that $20 million back. Is she going to do what Doug Emhoff says? She just puts her head down and gets to work. Just happens to get to work. She better get to working. Despite massive spending, Harris' team and Democratic allies channeled around $1.4 billion into political ads, outspending Trump and his allies. This is crazy. This is crazy to me, and the finger pointing on the Democratic side is continuing, and it's still perpetuating, and it probably will happen probably until the end of next week, or at least until the 2028 campaign, because the last thing that they want to do is completely admit defeat. They just want to finger point and not take accountability, and that's one issue when it comes to the Democrat Party, excuse me. We have Jesse Waters absolutely annihilating the fact that Kamala Harris is $20 million in debt, and he absolutely nails it here.
We learned two things about Kamala this election. She's good at raising money and she's good at blowing it. But money can't buy you elections, especially when you spend it like she did. She raked in more than $1 billion and is somehow now in debt. The Washington Examiner dug through her financial statements and gave us a good clue why. Kamala's campaign was getting whacked like a piñata while D.C. leeches hoovered up all the cash. She spent over $50 million on payroll. Trump's campaign spent less than 10. Another $12 million went to consultants, and $20 million went to their little concerts with Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Christina Aguilera, John Bon Jovi, remember him? They even had to cancel a performance by Alanis Morissette because they were running low on cash. Isn't that ironic? Campaign insiders are mad at the bosses for wasting donor money on concerts instead of ads about, the economy. Quote, they said they were spending to zero. I guess they overshot zero. Ads would have gone a lot further than the pricey celebrity endorsements. One campaign source said people were concerned about their own financial issues, not Oprah telling them America won't exist. But it worked out nicely for Oprah. She got her friend Kamala to pay her $1 million.
Whoa, $1 million to go on Oprah? And she couldn't even answer a question. Oprah had layups. She was like, hey, here's an alley-oop, Kamala. All you need to do is just dump it in the bucket. And she couldn't even do that.
To interview her in September, $1 million. Now, if she thought she was saving democracy, she should have done it for free. Kamala scared donors by calling Trump a dictator, got $1 billion, then just gave it to her friends and blew the rest on being a diva. Kamala went on a podcast, remember Call Her Daddy? But she didn't want to go to their studio in LA. So she made the host fly to DC and used campaign cash to build a fake set in a hotel room.
Wow.
She spent more than $100,000 to build it. That set, see it? 2 chairs, a coffee table, and a bookshelf. That's 6 figures. Now, we looked at the set. We probably could have done it for around $6,000. That's without labor. But where'd the rest of the money go? We don't know. So she's still trying to soak folks for cash. 24 hours after the election, on Wednesday, Democrats got a text from the campaign. Urgent. We need help. Donate now. Help with what? You lost. If this is how she's going to spend her donors' dollars, imagine what she would have done with our taxes.
Crazy. She forced the host of Call Her Daddy to fly to DC, and they built a mock set. That is ridiculous. Then she sent out the text to the donors, and said, hey, we need more money. And then now she's reaching out to the individuals from the campaign that donated before. And first and foremost, she acknowledges that she lost, but they're wanting to raise more money. This is a little snippet here from the email. So first and foremost, we want to acknowledge the fear and confusion and sadness that many of you are feeling at the moment. There we go. That you guys are feeling at the moment. For others, maybe looking for something more meaningful and important to channel your emotions towards. If that's you, then we're asking you to make donations to the Democratic Party. This is after she lost. She's sending out emails requesting more money. No, you ain't getting nothing. You ain't getting nothing. To further the blow of the loss, after that email goes out, Donald Trump offers to assist her in paying off her $20 million in debt. Donald Trump posted on Truth Social saying this: they raised a lot of money. They didn't have a lot of money left over. And now they're being squeezed by vendors and others. Whatever we can do to help them during this difficult period, I would strongly recommend we as a party, and for the sake of desperately needing unity, do. We have lots of money left over, and our biggest asset in the campaign was earned media. And that doesn't cost very much. Make America great again. This is what Donald Trump posted. What another blow to the Harris and Walz campaign and the Democrat Party. Donald Trump is continuing to troll to say, hey, yo, you lost, you're in debt, but I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy, the best guy, and I'll help you. And that's what he's saying. And the Democrats are probably like, yikes, yikes. Bernie Sanders went on CNN with Dana Bash saying that the reason why Democrats did not win this election is because they did not connect with the middle class. They didn't connect with anybody, at least in my personal opinion. They didn't relate to anybody. They were just going off of a campaign of, I'm not Trump, I'm not Biden, and I was raised in the middle class, and I had a nice lawn growing up. This is what Bernie Sanders had to say on CNN with Dana Bash.
Hello, Senator. Congratulations on your reelection. Nice to have you here. I want to start with the scathing response that you gave after the Democrats lost. Kamala Harris lost pretty big. You said the Democrats abandoned the working class. The chairman of the DNC called it straight up BS and said Joe Biden is the most pro-worker president of my lifetime. Former Speaker Nancy Pelosi said she disagreed with you. She added, quote, Bernie Sanders has not won, Do you stand by what you said?
Oh, absolutely. Look, Joe Biden is a friend of mine. I've been proud to work with him on an agenda which has been very strongly in favor of the working class. Biden promised to be the most progressive president since FDR in many ways on domestic issues. I think he kept his word. But here is the reality. The working class of this country is angry, and they have a reason to be angry. We are living in an economy today, Donna, where the people on top are doing phenomenally well, while 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck. 25% of elderly people are trying to get by on $15,000 a year or less. We have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth, and parents all over this country worry that their kids may have a lower standard of living than they do. That is the economic reality. And what Donald Trump did is provided an explanation. He went around, he said, I know you're angry, and the reason is that zillions of illegal immigrants are coming over, and they're eating your cats and dogs and everything else. That's the reason. Well, obviously, that is not the reason. The reason is, in my view, that we have an unprecedented level of corporate greed today, more income and wealth inequality, and people on top want it all. And we need an agenda that says to the working class, we're going to take on these powerful special interests and create an economy and a government that works for you. And by the way, that can't happen unless you get big money out of politics. We got to get rid of the Citizens United Supreme Court decision so billionaires do not continue to buy elections.
And I know that you heard President Biden and Vice President Harris tout over and over the record of supporting workers, helping the middle class, some of the things that you were instrumental in helping pass, like lowering the cost of insulin. You saw the president walking a picket line. They forgave student loan debt as much as they could. You said yourself in July that he had a strong record, which you just repeated here. So it sounds like it's not maybe as much about policies and more about messaging and communication.
It's not messaging, Donna. It's a fundamental understanding of saying, look, the Biden administration has done a lot of good things, period. We should all be proud of that. But it has to be put in the broad context of the reality of the American economy today. And that is.
And I think that's where they're absolutely failing, is because they're not connecting. They're not connecting, and they need to go back. And this is a great opportunity for them to reanalyze their strategy.
When you have three people on top owning more wealth than the bottom half of American society, when you have millions and millions of people working for starvation wages, you got to speak to that reality.
100%. And it's interesting because legacy media and anchors and everybody that backed Kamala Harris, they have no idea. They are completely disconnected from the middle class. This fool on CNN doesn't even know the cost of butter. Listen to this.
I want to talk about economy for a second. A few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, somebody who was going to be voting for Kamala Harris came up to me and said, oh, my God, Trump's going to win. I go, why is that? He goes, I went to the grocery store. Butter's over $3. I kind of laughed and I said, well, that's kind of reductive, isn't it? Said it to myself. To him, I smiled and I said, good point. But it actually, everything we're hearing after the election is,
I'm just saying, the $7.
What's that?
The $7.
What's that? Butter is $7?
Yeah.
What? Is it framed in gold?
This fool doesn't even know. He doesn't even know. So how can legacy media and the Democrats actually connect with people? And this is what Donald Trump ran on, and this is what he did very well. If you guys remember that press conference that he did where he had daily goods on the counter, bacon, cereal, milk, butter, all these things, and saying this is unaffordable for the working people. Nancy Pelosi went on a rant and basically talked mess about Bernie Sanders. Here's the Fox segment on that.
Bernie Sanders. Democratic socialist, presidential candidate, pushed aside by the Democrats multiple times. He came out on X on Wednesday, right after the election, talking about the working class, and he's gotten some blowback on that statement. So here's what Bernie Sanders said on Wednesday after Kamala Harris was thumped. He wrote, "It should come as no great surprise that a Democrat Party which has abandoned working class people would find that the working class has abandoned them. First, it was the white working class, and now it is Latino and black workers as well. While the Democrat leadership defends the status quo, the American people are angry and want change, and they're right." A lot of Democrats, including Nancy Pelosi, taking some issue with this.
That's right. Here's what she said after Bernie Sanders said that.
With all due respect, and I have a great deal of respect for him, for what he's...
First off, they need to adjust her profile photo. This profile photo was taken like in probably 2000, 20 years later. Very reminiscent of the Crypt Keeper.
He stands for. But I don't respect him saying that the Democratic Party has abandoned the working class families. That's where we are. For example, under President Biden, you see the rescue package, money in the pockets of people, the shots in the arm, children in school safely, working people back to work. What's his name? What did Trump do when he was president? One bill that gave a tax cut to the richest people in America. In fact,
why did voters who earned less than 100,000 K go for Trump in such large numbers?
Well, there are cultural issues involved in elections as well. Guns, God, and gays. That's the way they say it.
Wow.
So
you're right. They're not going to come.
No,
they're not learning.
Capable. They got
no,
shot.
that's a direct shot. So she sees it as a direct shot at her. She is the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
That's how she certainly sees it. And by the way, she has a ton of power. So she's not wrong. You've already pointed out, we have now seen limitations in Barack Obama's power.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually think she is the most important figure in the Democratic Party. And so when Bernie Sanders says that, yeah, I do. I think she has been.
I think it's going to start fading.
Well, yeah.
Quick.
Because she's old. But she has been. So when he insults the Democratic Party, Bernie Sanders, he's insulting her, is my point.
Sure.
Because
Because she has been the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
So he says you've turned away from the working class. She's like, I have not.
Sure.
And then you saw her rattle off her things, including the shots in the arm.
Shots in the arm.
Shots in the arm. Big deal. Big deal. And the people that got the jobs back were because they were bounce back jobs. They were bounce back jobs after the C-19 event. Bernie Sanders comes out, openly speaks harshly about the complete disconnect of the Democrats, and Kamala Harris's campaign is $20 million in debt. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop your comments down below, smash the like button, share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.